Well, let's reconvene at 8:23. We will begin, which is Resolution 2022-39, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Williston, Florida, authorizing acceptance and execution of the grant awarded by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to remove sand and grit from the wastewater treatment plant. Ms. Jones.
Thank you. The City of Williston was awarded from the Sand and Grit Removal Program managed by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. The Williston Wastewater Treatment Plant is a 531,850 gallon oval oxidation ditch. This ditch is supplied by the master lift station, which flows through the bar screen that now filters debris. Before the last CDBG grant, Phase 1, there was no mechanism to prevent debris and sludge from entering the oxidation ditch. Brought online for service in the mid-1980s, this catch-all has long needed to be cleaned. Contained within the oxidation ditch, we have two NEMA 3R 480 volt 100 amp switch operated rotors. These were installed in the last CDBG grant phase. Now that there's a mechanism to prevent the sludge from entering the ditch, we are requesting assistance to clean the built-up debris, which will improve the overall performance of the wastewater treatment plant. This resolution gives City Council President authority to sign documents related to the grant on behalf of the city.
Questions? Any questions for Ms. Jones?
So this is to upgrade our equipment.
It's to clean the oxidation ditch of all the sand and grit.
Ms. Laura, I can help you if you want.
Oh, those can help.
So by doing this, in that ditch, it's got realistically probably 3 to 6 foot of sludge on the bottom where it's been built up over the years. So by cleaning that, you increase the volume of intake you can get, which is it also increases the volume of intake that you can release. So by doing this, it'll allow the plant to operate more efficiently and process more. So it's a no-brainer, and it's a good idea.
And there's no match on behalf of the city.
Correct.
Free money, right.
Free money.
Free money. Okay, I would entertain a motion for Resolution 2022-39.
I make the motion, we approve Resolution 2022-39.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from anyone? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item F is the Resolution 2022-40, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Williston, Florida, approving the agreement between the City of Williston Community Redevelopment Agency and Ulrich Construction for construction contracts, authorizing the appropriate parties to sign any documents required to execute such agreement on behalf of the City of Williston Community Redevelopment Agency, repealing all resolutions in conflict and providing an effective date. Ms. Jones.
Thank you. We've already discussed the project going on across the street at Block 12. We have the arcade that's being renovated. We have a passive park seating area, and we're also going to do some facade work for some of the property owners that are facing us right now. This is housekeeping. Our lawyers told us we needed to come to you guys and ask your permission to go into the final contract with Ulrich Construction. The CRA has already approved the contract. They approved the bids and they approved the contract, and the work is already started. So this is just letting the council president make the final signatures on the contract.
So I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
So the CRA is handling all the funding for this. It's not going to be something where it's going to come back to the city and go, oh, we need $50,000.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know, because it's off. Doesn't have any of the whole time?
Yep.
Right off? Uh-oh. Put it way down there. Sounds like a submarine.
Like our submarine.
Like, oh, hold on, Aaron's playing with it. Okay, are we there?
Best you sounded all night.
That sound all right? Yes. I can't hear that. All right, so we are we in need of a motion for 2022-40?
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2022-40.
I'll second that. We cannot hear you.
There you are.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor,
Horrible, just junk. Ain't got no budget, can't.
Yes, ma'am. So, resolution 2022-41. So with upgrading our utility agreements and kind of, they haven't been addressed in many, many, many years. The city attorney and FMPA, Mr. Jody there, encouraged us that it was time to update the customer service agreement. This revised edition, it answers more questions relevant to the establishment of new utility services. How we came to this is over the course of the last 12 months, staff's been recording the complaints and questions that are often given by residents about how to make payments, new service connections, turn-on procedures, billings, the ACH withdrawal, late payment deadlines, and additional deposits. So we went through and we looked at the old agreement or the current agreement, and we made the necessary changes that we thought were important to make. Got some clarity on some issues. We took out any times that addressed Muni Code or any of the law. Instead of referring to that, it just clarifies some of the language that's already there. And this hasn't been evaluated in like the last 15 years, so there's a lot of policy changes and law changes on regarding keeping social security numbers, doing credit checks, all that kind of stuff. So, and the most important section, if you look at your exhibits, Exhibit A is the agreement that we are wanting to use, and Exhibit B is the current agreement that we have. So you'll notice, obviously, it starts out with a good introduction and tells them what this is going to entail. We also have an initial section on every single page, in addition to the last page where there's the actual agreement being signed. Which has been an issue that we've come into because some people say, well, I never received that page, and now we can have that on file to verify. There is, in the new packet, there is, I think it's the 4th page, talks about social security numbers and guarantees them that obviously we won't use those for any nefarious purposes. On the 5th page, we have requesting a new service or reconnect and how to avoid delays in service connection. We have a lot of questions on the gas procedures. That's listed under item number 5. For water, item number 4. For electric, item number 3. And some more information through 1 and 2. And then finally, the 6th page is the actual service contract. And it clarifies deposits, it clarifies when the cutoff is, it clarifies when garbage pickup is, and all of that information, and refers them to GFL customer service number for any kind of issues related to trash. So I also have with me the supervisor for billing and customer service, Selena Levy, and she can also answer any questions that council may have concerning the changes from Exhibit A to Exhibit B.
Thank you, Mr. Barber.
Yeah, you got.
Playing with our system in here again. Okay. I have one question. I don't even know if it's addressed by this. I have had people want to have our system automatically ACH the bill from their account. Will we, I know the policy will not do that, but do we have the ability to do that?
We do. There is an ACH form that the customer can fill out and provide a voided check, and we submit that to our bank to withdraw from the different bank accounts for their utility bill. That comes out on the 10th, just like your bill is due on the 10th.
Okay, is that something new?
No, ma'am, we've been doing that since I was here, it was before that.
13 years at least.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a while. And the new information that will be given new customers, it states, it's very clear in there that we do offer that. It also gives the option, to pay online and, over the phone.
Okay, so this will be an automatic payment.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay, so we're considering this. Does anybody have any questions for Selena or for Donald? If not, I entertain a motion. Let's get a motion on the floor. I'll entertain a motion for 2022-41.
Okay.
How about a comment? One comment?
Comments after the motion, I think.
Well,
I'd like to get the motion in a second before we have discussion.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2022-41.
I second that.
Thank you, sir. If you now have comment at the podium, help yourself.
My name is Art Constantino. I have a website called LevyCountyWater.com. The intention of the site was to serve the people of Levy County better, cleaner water if they have well water and it stinks and all that other stuff. So, as a result, I get people that are city residents calling up and complaining that they cannot get anybody in the city hall to tell them how to handle the boil, what the boil means and how long. And they say that they don't know how to pay their bill. They claim that they have contacted numerous people in the city hall about how to do all this stuff, and they're not getting the feedback that they need. So, somehow the customer needs to know that they can go to somebody here and get all the information that they need regarding the problems that they're having. I've had this situation go on for a very, very long time since I had a website. I had people in Bronson calling me, asking me questions about what the county should be taking care of, but they're not. So, if we can tighten that up, I think it would help the people. Because people don't always know where to go when they gotta make their phone calls and get the help. That's all I wanna say.
Thanks, sir. Just tell them to come into City Hall.
I do.
Selena can certainly help them.
I do, but they call me back. They call me back for the...
Tell them to come to Selena.
Okay.
You don't need to be the middleman. There you go. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item H, Resolution 2022-42, a resolution of the City of Williston, Levy County, Florida, establishing authorization for the City of Williston Well Number 2 emergency repair and providing an effective date. Mr. Barber.
As the council well knows, we had the top of the hill well go down on June 30th last month. Immediately the same day that it went down, we had a contractor who came out basically free of charge to diagnose the issue. It is a substantial amount of damage that has been done. That well is currently inactive. We immediately, within 25, 30 minutes of realizing that it went down, diverted the barn well, which is well number 1, to take over. Since we went below 20 PSI, according to state regulations, we put out a boil water notice. That notice went out within the next 2 hours to every affected resident. We, at the same time that that was going on, we contacted Twofold and had them come in and do 3 random samples, which is above and beyond what's required. But we took them from different areas of the neighborhood. That bacteriological testing came back July 2nd, the day of our parade. Right before we all kind of came down Highway 27 here, we got a phone call from Twofold that the testing had come back and everything was negative for any kind of contamination. So at that point, we, within 2 more hours, had every home notified that they could rescind that boil water notice. So now we're back to this quote, which is an emergency quote from the person that diagnosed the issue. We have used this company before. We contracted with them to do the emergency work on the spray field at the sewer plant. That is the pumps that move all of the reuse or reclaim, basically, water out to the spray fields to be deposited out there past the airport. And so they do great work. They came in with a very competitive price. We did call around some other companies. They were much, much higher. But we would like to get this work started. Well 1 already has its own problems, and we would like to forego that continuing to take the burden of so much of the city any longer than necessary. So, absolutely, it's being tasked to do more than it can handle at the moment. So this is simply the contract you'll see attached, and it breaks down pretty well exactly what those charges are and the work that we'll be receiving. When we originally got this, they had it broken out into 3 individual prices, and we believed that council would prefer it to know what the final price tag was, so we had them resubmit it to us with the total. And so that's the amount that you see there for, I believe, $45,485.
Page 161 and 162.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's gonna come from our ARPA funds, just to clarify.
To me, it's a no-brainer.
Okay, I would entertain, is somebody saying something?
I'm sorry, it's me, I'm just saying, to me, it sounds like a no-brainer.
Right. At this time, I'd entertain a motion for resolution 2022-42.
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2022-42.
I second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Is there any further discussion from Mr. Barber?
Madam President, briefly, if I could, for the record, because this is being used as an emergency purchase, we'll need a finding that complying with the rules, regulations, or procedures of our purchasing policy would be detrimental to the health, safety, and welfare of the city before we can move forward on this emergency basis. Just something that says explicitly yes.
Yes, and so it's staff's recommending that that is the case here.
I'm sorry, you're gonna have to tell me what you said.
I think she needs you.
I was just saying that we needed a finding as far as our emergency purchase. If we're going to use this as an emergency purchase, then there has to be a specific finding that complying with the rules, regulations, and procedures of our purchasing policy would be detrimental to the health, welfare, and safety of the city.
And staff is making that recommendation.
Okay. I would certainly think it's an emergency. I didn't realize it wasn't repaired already. And if it's putting that much strain on number 1, we certainly need to go forward with it. So does that need to be in the motion, Ms. Blue?
No, just a finding is fine.
Okay, thank you so much. Still sound like a submarine, I apologize. All right, so we are in need, oh, no, we already have a motion. Do we have a motion? Yes, we do.
We just need all in favor.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Again, I apologize. Resolution 2022-48, our City Council of the City of Williston, Florida, establishing an emergency agreement with V.E. Whitehurst and Sons, Inc., to repair the roadway damage located at East Noble Avenue, and provide an effective date. Mr. Bishop and Mr. Barber.
Yes, ma'am. So we had a water leak on the state road. It has been repaired. The DOT is mandating that we fix the cracks in the road. I believe it's roughly 115 by 12, and the price tag for that will be $23,190. And so I request that we fix that as quick as possible. DOT is doing us a favor by leaving the road open when their bylaws say we should still have it closed today. But with our relationship, they decided to let it open up, make it easier on the citizens.
Again, briefly, I'll jump in. If staff could make a finding that complying with our rules, regulations, and procedures of the purchasing policy in this case would be detrimental to the health, safety, and welfare of the city.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. I, for one, am not happy about having to pay it, but I assume our water line did it, so we have to pay it.
Yes, ma'am, we had no choice. But they could have made the regulations on us a lot stronger. They could have made us pay a lot more than we're actually paying, so I'm gonna take it as a blessing. That's all we have to pay. Because we did not have to go below subgrade, we passed a density test, but they could make us go as deep as 3 feet down. They could have made it go as deep as 3 foot down, and that would have easily contributed to quadruple the price there.
Barely hear him. Yeah.
Did everybody else hear me okay?
Okay, do I have a motion approving 22-48?
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2022-48.
I second.
We got a motion and a second.
Yes, there's been a motion and a second.
Okay, aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay. So happy to tell you, we're on the last page. And at this time, we have public participation one more time. For anyone who may be interested in discussing something that is not on our agenda tonight. Seeing no one moving to the podium, I would ask if any of the staff have announcements at this time.
Madam
If not, I
President,
would start with Mr. Bullock and see if you have anything to add.
No, I'm good.
Okay, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. I do have something to add. In my opinion, this entire meeting should never have happened. I have heard but 2 votes the entire night. That is the 2 counselors who are attending this meeting. The Attorney General stated unequivocally that you could not vote remotely in a council meeting in 2020. I believe that the entire meeting was wrong, that this meeting lacked a quorum and should never have taken place, and I am entering a formal protest into the minutes to that effect. Thank you. I am done.
understand that I asked those opinions before I started the meeting. I also asked someone else to do it. I did everything I could do to make a quorum tonight.
I know you did, Madam President, but you did not have a quorum here tonight.
I did have a quorum because I'm right here.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
If you had a problem with it, you should have stated it earlier, not at the end of the meeting.
In view of the fact that the president just made that comment, I will tell her that the council told the president that she had a quorum, and the council knows that was not correct, because the council is very aware of the Attorney General's ruling that you cannot vote in absentee from a meeting, and I
would
take
like to know-
exception to that.
Mr. Cox, do you have any announcements at this time?
Thank
No,
you.
ma'am.
Can't hear him.
No, he does not have a comment.
No, I have nothing.
Thank you. Ms. Corbin, do you have anything to add?
I don't, thank you.
I would just, Miss, I'll go to right next, please.
Council President, the only announcement I have is, Music in the Park on the first Friday in August, which is August the 4th. The gentleman's name is Cam Wheaton. He's a young student and he's very good. So if anybody can attend, it's an open invitation for everyone. Please. Attorney Baloo has a comment.
For the record, I would just like to say that I did analyze the situation, and I stand by the opinion that I gave at the beginning of the meeting.
You're saying 3 is a quorum.
I'm saying I stand by the opinion that I made at the beginning of the meeting that there is a quorum.
Are there any further announcements? If there are no further announcements, I entertain a motion for adjournment.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I second.